Hello ladies and gentlemen, SeKo Starcraft bringing you a game from the Asus Rock Group Series, Liquid Taeja versus Quantic Hyun. It is a best of 5 series, but I wasn't going to cast all 5, so I picked the final game. This is game 5 in the best of 5 series. Hyun, the dominant force that is Hyun, kicking ass on all continents right now in Starcraft. And Taeja, getting back to top form for what I've been seeing lately. Guy seems to be playing he was always playing killer, but he fell off a little bit because of some injuries that he was dealing with there for a while. So he got a lot more sparse play. You didn't even see him that much in EGTL, whereas, you know, at the beginning of their group stages, he was playing quite a bit. And the ace player ultimately of both those teams, because he was just so unbelievably good. Now we get to see him back in action again, taking on a lot more tournaments. Maybe he got himself some bionic wrists. It is bionic Taeja versus Hyun, the formidable Zerg player. And it's hard to characterize if this guy's like, you know, one of the top Zergs. I know he's one of the top Zergs. I don't know if he's like a top 1, 2, or 3 or anything. He plays so much. He does so well. But I just don't know if I consider him super good just because I see so much of him and all of his replays are able to cast. Or if he's just kicking that much butt. Command center first. Super common. I am kind of surprised. Well, it's a 4-player map, and I don't know if he knows for sure it's cross spawn. It doesn't look that way. That we don't have some sort of some sort of drone scout going just to be able to put some pressure on any builders on that side. If you snipe 1 or 2, it becomes actually quite a fun little advantage. You feel good about yourself. If you play as a Zerg player, you snipe an SCV or a probe or something, you feel pretty good. Like, there's no way he can lose now. I sniped his worker making a building. He's down a worker and he's got to bring another one. It's so good. I think the best worker I ever had killed, I think, 3 workers by himself. It was a drone against a Terran player. And then, yeah, I just walked over him later because he obviously wasn't that good. But at the time, it was super fun, and this drone's a little early to the party. I almost thought maybe he was going to go for some sort of ultra-fast third base. Just mega aggressive. Mega. But I don't think it's the case. I don't think there's going to be any Reaper coming out from this. We have an SCV that's going to go take care of that. Nope, just into Marines. He'll get himself out a orbital command. Maybe a low ground, a bunker. Just for safekeepings. Scout's going to see nothing special. It's not going to see any gas. Not even seeing the queens yet, obviously. So the timing wise, he knew he was going to die. He was on creep, so there's no problems there. He feels pretty safe. Lots of droning up here from the Zerg players you would expect at this stage. The Terran player should be lifting this bad boy up pretty quick. Drops his mule first, so that can start mining right away. And then moving into the factory. It is still worthwhile in the early game, if you can, to finish off your wall, get another supply depot down, just in case for some reason you lose everything. I like how he microed against the rocks, just in case. If there was like, you know, 20 lings coming down here and it busts this, at least you can stay safe behind your wall. A lot of the times the Zerg player is going to anticipate you getting maybe 2 to 4 Marines, and then a reactor right after that, and reactors take so long that sometimes you can be clever and go and just be a bit of a dick, you know, catch those timings on greedy Terran players. Particularly if they're getting gas. If they weren't getting gas and they were just going into barracks and Marines, they're generally going to have some defenses. Not many people do that anymore. Now, if Hyun goes unchecked long enough, third base is already down, creep on the way, Hyun is one of those people that he likes getting up his macro footing. And once he does, he'll just attack you relentlessly. He won't even care how cost effectively he trades. He's just going to keep steamrolling at you. I think it'd be worthwhile for him to put a creep tomb in his base, though. Lots of room back here for drops. Particularly on the high ground. Great overlord spread. Got the watchtowers on both sides. He's going to see these aliens. They're going to try to run away as a ling. You might as well do something like this. It means that the Hellions are going to be at your front door even later. Great overlord positioning. Pro. Very pro. Already down to 6 active tumors. One of these queens is going to come over here and inject after that. Looks like we had... Oh, I thought maybe we'd have a Viking out to go and start shooting things down. Wouldn't surprise me to see Taeja put one out on the map this big. There's generally a couple overlords worth shooting down. Still just the 2 marines at home. Starting to produce a few more now. Stim pack on the way. We don't see any engineering base yet. He hasn't got down his other gases, so it's very difficult to afford to get upgrades and an army at the same time. Economy, pretty big lead for the Zerg player. Did get up that 3rd hatchery there pretty quickly, so he's going to be getting out a ton of workers. Great creep spread. Are we going to get a scan? Nope. Sometimes it's fun to shoot at the queens across creep tumors. That's generally why Hyun's waiting back here right now, is he wants to bait the queens to kill off the active creep tumors at the top. Is he going to let him do it? Nope, I guess he's going to run away altogether. Been a nice snipe to pick that off. Bloop. And more larvae spawn. 9 roaches on the way. The stim will be finished up for the marines, and the medevac should be able to catch up to him pretty quick. So he's going to be able to rumble pretty good. That's an interesting position here. I like the positioning of these barracks. Super tight on the back, so you're not going to be able to get stuff that runs around that side. With the medevacs out, you can feel generally pretty safe as a Terran player killing creep. Even if you get a bit of a pressure from these roaches, you can always pick up really quick and there's nothing to deny you. Marines cut through those roaches super fast. Widowmine's still active right now. We do see some banelings that are morphing. I heard them. There they are. There's no baneling speed right now. He did kill off that one base, which is what he really wanted to do. I'm surprised he hasn't just stopped at creep. These banelings are going to fly right into his face. Pick up. Picks up most. Trying to snipe the medevacs from the low ground. Loses 1 queen for his troubles. He's gonna grab 1 more queen. Nope, he's not. Too many banelings sitting in there. Pretty good attack from Taeja though. Did kill off one of the bases. He's still down by about 15 workers. Keeping the Zerg on 1 base. I think he did the right move on going for that drop. It got a fair bit of damage in, but I'm still kind of surprised that he did go for the creep tumors with that kind of army positioning. Ooh. A little unfortunate they blew up on the Widowmine, but that's, you know, it is what it is. Rodan and the Marauders mixed in. It's a very smart play. They tank so many more of these Baneling hits as it's going across. Upgrades wise, 1-1. It's just over halfway done for our Terran player, whereas +2 attack for melee is already almost halfway finished. No armor though. It'll be finished up just about the time that the 1-1 is finished for the Terran. So I'd give a small upgrade lead for the Zerg player. Baneling speed about finished. Overlord speed. Roach speed. I said Hyun wants to get his economy in place and just go for a huge just macro busts. There he's killing off some of those creep tumors. There's not much you can really do as a Zerg player. I mean, he could go and try to surround. I think he should be able to get that hatch. No cancel either. Taeja waits for the last minute and loses like 2 marines out of that. Still nothing that can go up these medevacs. Yeah, if we look at the structures, we don't have any Spire in play right now for a Zerg player. No Infestation Pit either, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he's just on Roach and Zergling Baneling tech right now. Lost his 4th base a bunch of times. At this point, a Zerg player is really going to want to have out. Like, these Roaches aren't really that cost effective. Like, you'd want to have out some Mutas. They could help control some space. You'd want to be able to be getting out Infestation Pits so he could get out you know, some infestors, lock this army down and smoke it. The tech right now from our Zerg player is a little bit far behind, even though his upgrades, I think, are doing pretty decently. 2-2 is on the way right now for our Terran, so he'll be caught up to our Zerg player here pretty soon. Creep's still continuing to do pretty good. Just clearing out the watchtowers right now as the Terran player. He's got his third base down. Tanks. Love the tanks mixed in here. I don't see that near enough right now out of Zerg players. Lots of bunkers. I'm sure he expected Hyun to try to put the pressure back on him, but with the Zerg being stuck on just these bases here, there isn't much you can do. It looks like he lost the medevac in this drop. Killed off a couple creep tumors. Loses a couple marines and picks up again. Hyun is maxed, but he's not maxed well. These Zerglings and Banelings would be great, but if he tried to bust into here right now, he would lose a lot. But he can't do much. He's got to find a way to trade out this army, but replace it with something better. Move into Ultras, Mutas. There's the Hyun, I know. 38 Banelings in production with 23 already finished. I'm sure that Hyun is very well aware of what's about to come at him. Tanks on the high ground, tanks on the low ground, bunkers on bunkers. Even this command center will help with knocking down some damage. He's got to try to target down the Banelings. Banelings trading into tanks, not really that good. Looks like the Banelings got distracted. They should be going after the workers. There's some good hits. It's unfortunate this command center will die. Cancel. Oh, I actually got killed at the last second. I think that one Zergling killed it. It's funny. So Hyun traded everything he got for that. He did get his 4th base down. Units wise, still 50 workers left for our Terran player, who does have 3 orbital commands. Still pretty good for Hyun, and normalized things and got the pressure off for himself, but he still didn't move up into a higher tech form. His infestation pit, super delayed. It's just going down now. We're at the 17-minute mark. No Spire. So these drops are going to continue to wreak havoc on him here. Pretty good target firing on these medevacs, though. I can credit Hyun with doing a great job of trying to hold those down. Deny more creep. Pretty good chunk of army here. Does have enough medevacs, though, to keep this alive. Lost a little bit there, but not too much. Hyun's almost maxed out again, but once again, he's kind of maxed out on a kind of a subpar army here. 3 3s on the way for the Terran. We only have 2-1 right now for the Zerg player. Lots of lings. There goes down the hive. He's going to need to get out. I think he's got 2-2 for his melee, though. Yeah, he does. There's going to be a period of time he's going to be a fair bit behind on his upgrades to the Terran player. These tanks are the perfect mix in against this kind of army composition. Lots of light units in here that are just going to get killed by the splash damage. Good Zergling block on this side. Let's see if there's going to be kind of a base trade here from Hyun. He's got the army to throw away. He might just try to go in, kill off the Terran base, which I wouldn't feel too bad about. He's got a bank. More Banelings morphing right now. The Bio Army's cutting through a lot of this weak stuff. There's only the 3 tanks in the back, though. He might be able to smother this down. At least there are a lot of medevacs here to cover and pick up if he needs to. Got to kill off that block. sees the flank coming in. Traded a lot of banelings on tanks, and I don't think that's really what he wanted to do there. Looks like he's going to try to roll in with this army. There's still almost 20 banelings left. Ultralisk Cavern and 3-3 immediately started up on this side. Let's look at the economy. Well, mined out on one base. This base is going to be done in the next minute. This base will be done in a couple minutes. This is the only really healthy one. For the Terran player, this is brand new. This guy still has some good mineral patches. It's been muled out pretty bad. This base will be done right away, but he can transfer, and this one's done. Zerg player is going to try to sneak a third down there. Big drop. Oh. Some pretty big baneling hits, though. Taeja has clawed his supply count up to pretty much even right now with the Zerg player. Really got to make sure he doesn't lose that hatch, though. Tanks in the back, doing lots of damage. Banelings are a little bit too far behind. The bio cuts through most of the Zerglings. Great target firing on the Banelings. I'm so happy to see Terrans using tanks again. Looks like this base might go down. We don't see any Ultralisks in production. Did he get any out yet? No, he does not. He's got some money to be able to do so. Still just producing Zerglings, though. All of his top level upgrades almost finished. Would like to get Infestors out, but I don't think he can afford it right now. Unfortunately, he has one Marine in this as well, so he can't pick up that last tank. Hyun's just bleeding supply. This base is probably not going to have a chance to get used. The Terran's at his front door right now, and those Banelings are morphing right at the front. Roach is burrowing. A great aggressive tank to the front. He's going to try to focus them down. Way too much in play. Game and the series goes to Taeja. Pretty good play. I'm very impressed. It's interesting to see how the mental games of Taeja held Hyun back. Just the constant drop pressure, forcing units and roaches out of Hyun instead of allowing him to get into the mutas and the ultras like he would feel a lot more comfortable doing, and just can't combat this army well enough. Economy-wise, Zerg player was just going to be in shambles. Great game out of Taeja. That means the series goes to him as well. And that is SeKo Starcraft signing off.